Which country do you think I was born in? Oh, me, this is Robert Clover Brown. Yes?
England.
England. Yes. This voice is an English voice. Now, I've got another voice, see, up my sleeve. What does an actor do? Yes?
In plays.
In plays. Where else might you see an actor acting or hear an actor?
On TV.
On TV? Yes, you would. Yes, in lots of different ways on TV. Movies. What's an historian do?
Studies history.
Yes, he does. And what does that mean? What's studying history?
He tells the history.
Come in, do come in. Yes, I have a degree in history from Cambridge University in England, and I spent years and years acting in England, as well as having a corporate life. I was cast as my favorite character in a TV commercial in England, and I had to eat ravioli all day long, and I wonder what your favorite characters might be. Dragon, okay. Tom and Jerry. My son is old enough now. He's gone all the way through all the Harry Potter books. He's read them all for himself, and he's seen all the films. So they're all played by actors in different sorts of ways. There's the voice, there's movement, and costume. Sometimes it all depends. So those are the three things we want to mention in particular. Now, see, if I've got this voice up my sleeve, I've already mentioned this voice. This is a Geico Gecko voice. So I can move like that. And when I start talking like a Cockney, I start moving, because Cockneys are kind of like this. They're all sort of nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more. Do you know that? That comes from Monty Python. I am going to reveal my favorite character in just a moment. I'm also going to become him in a bit more vivid way than you can see right now. I don't think he heard you. Let's say it louder. One more time. Thank you, thank you. What a surprise, there he is. Does anyone know who he is? Shakespeare. What are you going to say? William Shakespeare. And as you can see, he has a bald head. And he has hair a bit like this. So what do I need to do to become a bit more like him? What am I missing?
Mustache and beard.
I say moustache. You say mustache. Now, something else is going to be revealed at this very moment. What's going on here? Mustn't be careful. I've got a microphone on. Look at this. Shakespeare trousers. We don't call them trousers. And here are my special Shakespeare shoes. I told you about these. Once I put these on, I feel more like William Shakespeare. And the breeches and the shirt. I already had the shirt on. What else have I got on already that might not be my own already, looking at me? Hair. Does anyone happen to know the name of that theatre, just by chance? Yeah, yes.
Romeo and Juliet.
Well, that's an excellent answer. No, that's fine. That's a different kind of answer. That's one of his most famous plays. Here it is. What do we say? 1, 2, 3? You're going to say that, please? Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Now, I feel a speech coming on. I've got the boots on. Let me put the belt on. Let me do this. Let me put a bit more costume on. Make me feel even more like Shakespeare. What do you think this might be used for?
Money.
Yes, a pouch. Do you understand about that? Do you understand that there were no cell phones in Shakespeare's day? In fact, thank you for that. It made me think of it. What's this? A quill. Sharpened at the end. Every word he wrote, Shakespeare wrote, every word he wrote, written with one of these. Scratch, 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 scratch. Think of him writing his plays by the light of a flickering candle late at night, after a long day in the theatre. You mentioned Romeo and Juliet, and I wonder which other plays anyone has ever heard of. Has anyone heard of, oh yes?
Hamlet.
Hamlet, gosh. First, the infant, mewling and puking in his mother's arms. And then, the whining schoolboy. The whining schoolboy with satchel and shining morning face, creeping like a snail unwillingly to school. And then, well, if you'd like to hear the rest of it, come back at 2 o'clock. I had a different voice. I may have been moving slightly differently, and I've got my costume on. Voice, movement, and costume. It's his birthday today. The British Emporium are going to be serving us tea at 3 o'clock after my performance to celebrate his birthday, and I think there'll be cake. It's a family tree. It's a tree with a family on it. And this is John Shakespeare, Mary, his mother, and here's William. What's William Shakespeare famous for? His plays like Romeo and Juliet, poems, indeed his sonnets. That during his lifetime there was a great queen on the throne, a queen of England. Does anyone happen to know her name? Ooh. A queen would say that you're going to be saying in a moment dressed as a king or a queen. So it could be a king too, because there was a king in Shakespeare's day called James. After Elizabeth died, James came to the throne.
Assemble the troops.
Oh! Assemble the troops. What a nice word. Assemble the troops. Anything else? Did you have one?
I'll take your head.
She came on her own. I didn't.
What have we got so far?
Assemble the troops, onward, bring me my tea,
And,
off with your head.
oh gosh. Do you want to do all those lines? Do you want to do them all? Because you're going to be doing them, not me. Shall we do them? Can we remember them? Let's get the order right then. Let's think of which is the best way to put those lines together. Come this way, yes please. And let's just practice. Just come over this way. What would have been the light in Shakespeare's day? What kind of lights did they have? Candles. And the sun. And I think you did very well. I think I had a feeling you weren't sure what the next line was, but you remembered it perfectly. What were you going to say?
Spotlight.
Spotlight. Well, let's say, okay, we'll add another one. Yes, find your light. So we've got 4. We've got voice, movement, and costume. And part of the movement is into getting into your light. What was the name of the great queen in Shakespeare's day? Yes?
Great Elizabeth.
The Great Elizabeth, the Great Elizabeth, Elizabeth I. And I mentioned it very briefly. What were the names of the people who stand in the... I mentioned it very, very briefly. You might not have noticed. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Thank you. That's William Shakespeare. That's not me. That's William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, master poet, master playwright. I go to a lot of schools. It's remarkable how the kids are interested in what he wrote, how they relate to the characters, and love the poetry and the imagery once they've got through the difficulty of unpacking the meal, as it were. It's not a ready meal. It's something you have to actually try a bit harder about, but it's so satisfying. The one I would have with me for life, as it were, probably is Hamlet, just because it's so complicated to unravel and you could never get to the bottom of it. At least come back for tea, if you can spare the time, and come back and see my actual Shakespeare Man performance, which will be at 2 o'clock. It'll have elements of what you saw today, but it'll have lots more stuff in it, which is different, and different kinds of participation. So thanks so much for being here. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Great question.